Hey, what's up everybody? Hammerheart Metal Reviews here once again, doing another discography countdown for you today. Today I'm going to be talking about some Canadian content and one of my favorite Canadian black metal bands, Sorcier Des Glaces. So these guys are from Quebec in Canada, like I said. Been around since 1997 and they're still going strong to this day. So going on over 20 years of existence, basically 25 years I guess. They have released 7 full-length albums, could maybe consider it 8 full-lengths. They did re-record their debut. I'm not going to include the re-recording in my discography ranking. I'll just include the actual 7 original albums. And essentially, this is like a mix of like second wave black metal worship, but also mixing in like icy cold atmospheric black metal. Very primitive sounding, but like misanthropic, and it's just really got this beauty to it that the French Canadians in the black metal scene, they really just know how to capture this true like iciness and this underlying melody that really gives it that unique French Canadian flavor. So similar bands, if you haven't heard these guys before, of course Fortress will be probably the #1 comparison. Also bands like Monarch. Obviously, if you're thinking to bands outside of Canada, some old school Emperor, Dark Throne influences in there for sure as well. I feel like this band is super underrated, maybe a little bit of an unknown outside of Canada. I mean, I've heard a few other people talk about them online, but not too much, and I feel like they should get a little more well known. They've had a really stellar career, not really any bad albums in the bunch, and this is an extremely hard ranking. Like I said, they've only got 7 full lengths. But this is a tough one to put together because I pretty much love everything that they've done. Almost any of these albums could be in any order, and I wouldn't really say much about it. But without further ado, let's just see what order I've got them in. So, coming in last place in 7th, my least favorite Sorcier Des Glaces album. But saying that, I do still think this is pretty good. But this one was actually the one spot where I'm like, this one was clearly my least favorite. But it's still like not bad at all. This is still a 7.5 out of 10. But yeah, easy choice for me. I'm going with their 4th album, which is from 2014, Ritual of the End. So this one, compared to some of their other albums, it's more of a just like straightforward approach to the songwriting. Just very primitive, cold black metal. There's not really any keyboards here. Sorry, my dog is going a little crazy here. Gotta get his bone out of the way. Sorry about that. Just hold on there, buddy. Yeah, so sorry, got a little off track there, but yeah, some of their earlier stuff had some keyboards in it. There's not really any keyboards to be found on this album at all, but it's still got really evil atmosphere. I just liked the first 3 albums a little bit more than this one. There's a little bit more substance to them. This one's just got more of that like straight ahead, almost like satanic black metal kind of feeling. There's still a lot of melody throughout this album, though, and it's still a very solid album. Like, I'd still, like I said, scored 7.5 out of 10. This is not a terrible album by any means. I'm not even knocking this. I still listen to this album quite a bit. It's just, to me, it's a step below all their other stuff. But that being said, best songs on here, Snowland is great, The Frozen Sword of Midnight. Like, all in all, it's still a pretty decent album, but for me, personally, it's coming in 7th. So up next, from here on out, these ones are very tough. What I've got coming in 6th could easily be in like 2nd or 3rd, and vice versa. These are all very solid albums. I score them all above 8 out of 10. So yeah, here we go. Getting tough here. In at number 6, I'm going with their newest album, which is from 2020, Un Monde de Glace et de Sang. So this one, it's really got like a throwback sound to like the second wave stuff out in Norway from the early 90s. It really sounds like it could have come from that time. But then with a little bit of their own flavor on it, it's really got that iciness of Sorcier Des Glaces, the really unique sound that they bring to the table. With this album, yeah, it is their 7th album. Not really reinventing the wheel here at all. Not necessarily adding anything new to what they've done before. But that being said, this is just a thoroughly enjoyable black metal album from start to finish. There's not really any weak moments. It's very solid. Favorite songs on here, Night Dark Winds of Evil, fucking awesome. The title track, Un Monde de Glace et de Sang, is a 12-minute epic in the middle of the album. Absolutely awesome. All in all, very solid stuff. Like I said, this could be even higher than 6, but for me, for today, it's in at number 6. Now let's get into that top 5. My top 5 favorite Sorcier Des Glaces album. So coming in at number 5, I'm going with their third album, which is from 2011, The Pure Essence of Primitive Forests. So here, compared to the first 2 albums, which I haven't talked about yet, the keyboards and ambient passages were toned way down. Like, they were very prominent on the first couple albums. Here, it took them out almost, not completely, but I do find that it loses a little bit of the beauty from those first couple albums. Like, there's so much beauty permeating those albums. It's not to say this isn't solid. I just feel like it's a slight step below those 2 albums. That being said, this still is full of great riffs, and it's really solid, evil-sounding black metal, melodic and epic in nature. It's still got that ice-cold feeling, ice-cold atmosphere to it. So when I'm saying it's not as good as the first 2 albums, that's just because those 2 are fucking insanely good. This one is still like 8.5 out of 10 for sure. It's very solid stuff. Best songs on here, Death Like Silence, Through the Veils of Frost, Winter Eternal is a really long epic on here that's absolutely awesome. All in all, this could easily be even your number 1, and I wouldn't say much about it. It's such a good album, but for me, it's coming in at number 5. Up next at number 4, I'm going to 2016 with the album North. So this one just has a very frigid atmosphere. There's actually no keyboards used here on this album at all, but they really like layer in these like backing guitar notes that really create a similar feeling to a keyboard. It's like they're using these backing guitar tracks instead of a keyboard, and it really gives it this like really wintry melody, and it just feels so cold. This album, I ranked it higher than The Pure Essence of Primitive Forest just because I find there's a little bit more variation between the songs, like not necessarily the same approach on every single song. It feels like you're really just in wintry northern landscapes here. They really capture that atmosphere perfectly. There's even some nice like acoustic sections that are just used beautifully. Really epics here, and really crisp production, and it gets very melodic yet still harsh and evil at the same time. So favorite songs on here: Storming from Beyond, Rites of the Black Moon, and the song that really edged this over Pure Essence of Primitive Forest for me is just because of the title track, North. Absolute epic. Without that song, this album would be below, like lower on the ranking for sure. But North is one of my favorite songs by these guys for sure. In the Frozen North. Just fucking, it's absolutely epic. It's got like some parts that remind me of the more epic side of Immortal, with like the longer parts going to the acoustics and going back to the really heavy parts. It's just absolutely gorgeous song. If you haven't heard these guys before, that might even be a good starting point. Just go listen to the song North. It'll tell you whether you're into this style of melodic, icy black metal. So that's it at number 4. Let's see what I got next. Coming in at number 3, I'm going with the album that was right after that, actually, from 2018, their self-titled album, Sorcier Des Glaces. So this one is a very unique because it is only 1 song on the album, but it is 50 minutes long. That's right, I said 50 minutes long, 5-0. 1 song that is that long, that is absolutely epic. It is such a journey. There are like different movements throughout this 50 minutes that you could kind of consider like separate songs, but it all blends together as 1 long song. There's maybe like some acoustic or softer passages that really help to tie it together, but there's great variation just throughout this whole thing, like killer melodic riffs, the softer sections, there's some clean chanting and some harsh vocals. That's just such an achievement to actually write a cohesive song that's 50 minutes long. That's insane. I don't know how you even begin to do that. Never mind just put it all together and have it sound this good. Like, this is absolutely amazing. If this is your number 1, yeah, I got no problem with that. This could potentially be their magnum opus. But yeah, for me, it is coming in at number 3. Obviously not going to name favorite songs because it's 1 fucking song, so that wouldn't make sense. But yeah, here we go. Let's get into the top 2 now. You'll notice I did not talk about the first 2 albums yet, so those are the first 2. Let's see what order I've got them in. So coming in second place, I am going with the debut from 1998 titled Snowland. So this one is the album that they re-recorded later, probably due to the very poor production on this album. It does hold it back a little bit, but that being said, I really like the raw approach here. Obviously, I have this ranked as second. I don't think the production hurts it that much. It really has ice cold atmosphere. I know I've been saying that a lot, but this was their start. This really is what cemented their unique take on this type of black metal. And the keyboards here are used really well. I know they got rid of them later on in their career, but these first couple albums where they actually utilized keyboards, it's just used very tastefully. It's not overdone, and it really just adds to the atmosphere so well. The riff style, you can almost think more of like primitive Dark Throne style of black metal riffing here, but then it's just really well-crafted songs. The execution is outstanding. And yeah, just really on nailing this type of cold atmosphere. Not too many bands can do it better than this. This is just so great, and there's always these underlying melodies amongst all the harsh tones. They still are able to capture that melody, and it's just amazing. Really solid stuff. If you like your black metal old school with a little bit of atmosphere, definitely go check this out if you haven't heard it before. Best songs on here: The Winter Night Sky, Onward into the Crystal Snows is possibly my favorite song on the album. L'Eternelle Majesté des Montagnes, another really solid one. Excuse my French, I do not speak French, so doing my best here. But yeah, all in all, in at number 2, but easily could have been higher. Super solid debut album. So that just leaves one album to rule them all, which is their sophomore album from 2006, a full 8 years after the debut, Moonrise in Total Darkness. So here, very much in the same style as the debut, but the production was very much improved, and it's all the better for it. Really melodic approach to the songwriting here, and so much beauty with these keyboards added in, like underscoring everything. Just really creates this beautiful soundscape. It's, once again, that really icy atmosphere mixed with the classic black metal sound. And it's just awesome. Like, it's a perfect blend of like thrashing and blasting black metal parts with these slower melodic passages. And it's just fucking awesome. This album kicks so much ass. Distant Fog Floats in the Grim Night Forest. It's a tongue twister of a title, but really awesome. And possibly my favorite Sorcier Des Glaces song ever is the title track, Moonrise in Total Darkness. It's up there with like North and Onward into the Crystal Snows. Very hard to pick a favorite song by these guys, but Moonrise in Total Darkness, definitely right up there. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. So anyways, these are just my opinions as usual. Love to get your thoughts down below. What's your favorite Sorcier Des Glaces album? Did you like this ranking? Do you think I'm crazy with putting some things over other albums? Always like to get conversations going, so let me know your thoughts down below. And if you haven't heard these guys, fucking listen to them right now. So anyways, till next time, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Hammer Metal Reviews, out!